This is the Health Rebels podcast hosted by me, Steve Hicks. I have over a decade of experience as a personal trainer, and during that time, I have watched the smartest fitness advice fail people because we keep thinking that health and fitness is an individual's problem. The reality is there are forces all around us that are constantly pushing us to a default of being unhealthy and unhappy. To become truly healthy and happy, we have to rebel against those forces. So if you're ready to steal back control over your health and happiness, join me as we strip away the nonsense and show you the simple, healthy habits that will transform you into a health rebel. Let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome back, Rebel. Today, we are talking about the second part of the Rebel's Oath. And as I hinted at in a couple episodes ago, there is a beautiful secret hidden within this declaration. But let's go ahead and talk about what the second part of the Rebel Oath is. So the second part of the Rebel Oath is the E, and it stands for energized by healthy habits. And really, isn't that really the point of health and fitness? Like when we envision what a healthy person looks like in our minds, aren't they that happy, energetic, and engaged with life kind of person? Like I know when I think about it, maybe it's kind of that image of a dad smiling widely at his son's birthday party as he throws little Timmy Thompson into the pool. Splash! Right? There's some happiness, there's some enjoyment there, there's some energy there. And we can contrast that to our mental image of unhealthy people. And for me, when I think of someone that's unhealthy, maybe I go a little dark, maybe I go a little extreme, but I think of like the sickly, frail, lying on their deathbed and like hardly moving type of person. You know, kind of like Peter Quill's mother at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy. And I know that's kind of a dark image and they're polar opposites. But by looking at those two examples, we can see that energy is kind of like the outward manifestation or demonstration of a healthy person. And of course, as we talk about this, we do have to start off by talking about the definition of energy, right? So like what is energy? And I think the first and most obvious example of energy is probably physical energy, right? That goes back to the image of the healthy father playing at the party, lifting and tossing the kid into the pool, right? He's pretty energetic. He's having a good time. Physical energy, when we have it, is that childlike bounciness as you excitedly bop through the day. And the absence of physical energy is more like the lethargic, sickly, bedridden person. Getting out of bed is physically hard, it's demanding, and they lack the physical energy to do it effortlessly. But physical energy isn't the only kind of energy we can run out on. It's not the only kind of energy we have as people. There's definitely emotional energy as well. Back to that healthy image, like why is the father at the birthday party smiling, right? Why is he smiling? It's because he's got boundless emotional energy. He's got this deep reservoir of emotional energy because he's healthy, he's happy, he's got emotional energy. Likewise, the sickly image we conjured up, that person likely isn't smiling. When they're on their deathbed, emotional energy is kind of low as well, right? So there's a lot we can say about emotional energy, and there's not, I don't think there's a lot of excitement and positive emotional energy in unhealthy individuals. And let's be honest, I think it's probably a universal that we've all had emotionally low days, right? And those days are hard to get moving, right? When we're down in the dumps, man, we are stuck. It's like moving in molasses. It's just not energetic. And look, if we can go all the way back to Winnie the Pooh, back in childhood, right? If we think about Eeyore was definitely the slowest, most sluggish, least energetic character. He was always bringing up the rear, moving slow, super low energy. Even in the way he talks, he was low energy. Right, but it wasn't a lack of physical energy. It's not like he had just plowed the fields like Rabbit did. It's not like he had to race over and around the hills like Tigger and Roo. It's not like he had to just escape from the Huffalumps like Pooh and Piglet. No. He definitely didn't necessarily lack the physical energy, but I think it's a pretty well-known statement that Eeyore represented clinical depression. And with that emotional energy being low, it made him sluggish in his life. We've all had these lows, I believe. I think we've all had that, and we all understand emotional energy. But there's also a third tank of energy we can talk about today, and that's mental energy, right? There are days where we are racing 1,000,000 miles per hour. We have idea after idea after idea. Thoughts are just bouncing everywhere. That is high mental energy. And then there are days that are the opposite, right? We find ourselves in a mental haze, unable to concentrate, unable to focus, and we often just sit and stare on those low mental energies, right? Another example of low mental energy is like if you expend your mental energy, maybe you have a difficult project at work and it took a lot of thought and afterwards it's just kind of sluggish, right? There's mental energy as well. So between the three, if our representation of someone that is healthy is someone that is in a high energy state, then it makes sense that our healthy habits should be promoting a higher energy state, right? In my experience as a personal trainer, one of the most common things I'd hear from people when they met me to do that consultation, they would say, man, I just want to improve my stamina, right? The energy to get through the day. Stamina, energy, same. We improve it and create it by improving our fitness and being healthy. Now here's where the magic of the statement really hides. Here's the real beauty behind the statement that health rebels energize themselves through healthy habits. What if you do something that takes away your energy? You know, this statement kind of serves as an individual litmus test to the effectiveness of an unhealthy habit or the effectiveness of a healthy habit. Regardless of claims that people make about the health benefits of some particular workout or a diet or literally any other healthy habit like sleep and stress management, we can fairly rapidly measure its effectiveness for ourselves as individuals. Does it give us energy or does it take away energy? That's all we need to know. Look, what is healthy for one person may be destructive for another. I mean, we can look at workouts for a really easy example of this. Take any pro athlete or go into a college weight room when the football team is in there, right? Football players at the college level, they have years of experience, years of specific conditioning. They have adaptations to that specific demand, and their workouts will look grueling. They'll look absolutely awful. They'll be throwing away hundreds of pounds. I was an intern at the Washington State University athletic department, and I used to work with the athletics in the weight room, and I once watched a defensive linebacker clean 500 pounds. That means he took 500 pounds from the ground and rapidly threw that weight up to his shoulders and caught it. Right? That would crush me. I think that would crush a lot of people listening to that. But for that person, it was great. It was exactly what he needed to get better. Look, these men, these football players were always dripping in sweat, tossing around hundreds of pounds, going until their muscles burned with the fiery rage of 1,000 suns. Like, it was brutal work. But if you looked around, you saw that they kept laughing with each other. They kept shouting and cheering for each other. They were pumped up. Their emotional energy tanks were getting maxed out. They would finish the 6 a.m. workouts and then go to class. their mental energies stayed with them. They were able to focus in class. And then in the afternoon, they would meet on the field for team practice and have 2-3 hours where they were running around. They still had physical energy. That grueling workout didn't deplete their energy states. Now, of course, compare that with what would happen if, say, Mary, mother of 3, comes to the gym on her very first day and some meathead tries to give her a football player's workout. She would be dogged. She'd take a nap immediately afterwards. She would have no physical energy. She would be physically exhausted and overrun. She'd be sore for days. She'd be miserable. Physically, she would feel like 5 gallons of poop shoved into a 1-gallon bag. It'd be awful. She'd be grumpy and she'd be emotionally fried. She'd be angry that we made her do that. And she'd be a little bit listless, right? She'd be unable to respond to questions, unable to focus as her body just tried to survive the torture we put her through. Mentally, she would be fried. Physically, she would be fried. Emotionally, she'd be tapped out, right? Now that workout is healthy for the football players, but it's not at all healthy for Mary to do. And we can see that really easily with the differences in their energy responses. And look, I'll admit, I know that is kind of an extreme example, I know. But lesser examples still show how we can use this as a litmus test for ourselves. Understanding that there is no one-size-fits-all approach and that something can be healthy for one person and unhealthy for another is really a huge breakthrough in understanding for most people. Right? It's a huge breakthrough. It explains a lot why people will try the same things as their neighbors, as their coworkers, and not get the same results. There's a difference in responses to what we do with the different stimuli. And so, look, we can use this as an individual litmus test. If we engage in a healthy habit and it makes us low energy, it is not a healthy habit for ourselves. If we participate in a healthy habit and it fills us up with energy and it gives us more energy, whether physical, emotional, or mental energy, then yeah, we can say that is good for us. That is healthy for us. Look, and I know we are just scratching the surface on how to use this, but unfortunately, we're out of time today, Rebels. If you want to go deeper on this, look, during the outro after this, I'm going to talk about my free Facebook community. Dude, join the community and come hang out with me. You can ask me questions during my live coffee chats in the mornings, right? You can ask me questions. We can go deeper on this. We can assess for your individualness if that's appropriate. Or if you really want to dive deep into this idea and have me walk through healthy habits with you and your individual responses and modifications, look, you can sign up for coaching. It's where I'm absolutely dedicated to radical individualization. And you can send me an email, steven@healthrebels.us, for more information. In case you don't know, Steven is spelt with a V. So steven@healthrebels.us. You can send me an email and I'll get you more information about coaching and how we can use something like this to individualize your plan and determine what is a healthy habit for you. But look, that's all we got today on this part of the Health Rebels Oath. We're a little bit shy on time, so I got to wrap it up. But tomorrow, come on back because we are going to talk about my absolute favorite part of the Rebel Oath. Right? We're going to talk about the letter B. So come back for that one. And until then, you know what to do, Rebel. Keep the oath. Hey, thanks for listening to that episode of the Health Rebels podcast. Before you run off, I want to let you know about a free resource available for you. I do have a free Facebook community where I do daily live chats with other Health Rebels, provide more information, host group challenges, provide support, and just generally try to put more positivity on your newsfeed instead of the typically toxic political hate that we get surrounded by already. If you're not already in the Health Rebels Training Camp Facebook group,
I'll tell you what, I'll sweeten the deal. When you join the Facebook group, I'll send you a free digital copy of my Health Rebels Pocketbook Guide. This little book highlights some of the hidden forces that have conspired against our health and happiness and gives you 2 powerful tools to fight back. You can join the Health Rebels Training Camp group by visiting www.facebook.com/groups/Health Rebels. That's an S after both groups and Health Rebels. Or by checking out the show notes. You can also search on Facebook for Health Rebels Training Camp. I hope to see you inside.